some more of Hannah's pie.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Fright Night. Our guest should be here soon. I'm sharing out. I'm inviting him now. They should be joining. He should be joining. My bad. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, sir. I am Mr. Diggle, part of the GWF management, a very ghetto, lower class company. And not even really a company, it's more just like a very low production company. But you get the point. Yeah! It's good to have you, sir. How do you feel tonight?
A little tired, but I'll be all right.
Happy to hear. We're
I see
happy
that
to have you on. Freaking, what brought you into here in the first place? What brought you, what got you into what we do in the wrestling, the E-Fed
Ah,
world?
you want the short version or the long version?
This is your interview. You tell it however you would like to tell it. This is your choice.
Ah, I'll make it not too long. But basically, I've been watching wrestling since been playing video game like wrestling since the NES when there was the WrestleMania game that had Hulk Hogan in the front of it. So, and I always played with friends sometimes, but like it's always been consistent. Wait, why can't I hear you?
You can't hear me?
Oh, now I can. Oh, now I can't.
Cool, cool. Uh,
What in the world?
is there technical difficulties?
There is, sir. Huh.
Uh,
Let me see if I can just rejoin or something.
yeah, you can try rejoining, sir.
Let's see. I think it's all right now. I think I can
Okay.
hear you when you talk. I think it's okay. Huh.
Yeah. I just when people are talking, I don't want to interrupt them, so I try to listen closely. So that you were talking, I did not want to interrupt you.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool. All right, so
yeah, yeah.
you can hear me fine though, right?
Oh, yes, perfectly. I can hear you fine.
Okay. Um, so basically, like I was saying, like I was playing the NES WrestleMania when I was a little kid, and every time there was like a new wrestling game, I've always played. I always got it, always played it. So eventually, like back in like I'd say the N64 for No Mercy, I was thinking about like, oh, this would be cool if it was like online because I've always had um I was like one of the first kids in the area to have like a computer with the internet and stuff. And so I always thought it would be kind of cool to play against people around the world. And I remember like putting on forums like when they were making the SmackDown versus Raw series, and I was like, hey, this would be kind of cool if you guys like made it where it was you could have like online like leagues like federations for this game like they do on Madden because I used to be a hardcore Madden fan and I used to play the heck out of that. So, but ultimately, like, I randomly just came across this whole thing, this eFed stuff. I didn't know anything about it until I didn't even know this existed. And I was like, really? This is real? Because I finally joined the WWE like 2K community, the main one.
Yeah.
And like people were talking about eFeds, and I was like, what is an eFed? Like, is that what I think it is? And they were like, yeah. And then I forget who invited me here to KCW, but I ended up going, and they were like, I was nervous about it at first, but I was like, all right, well, he was like explaining the ropes and like telling me everything. So I was like, okay. So I ended up like coming up with this character that I've always had online on every game I've had for like a few years now, AIDEN Williams, and I've made a persona, and the persona is basically like me amped up version of me. So I just thought it was kind of fun, and I didn't know if I was going to be good at it, but I knew I was going to have some fun with it.
Oh yeah,
So
hell yeah.
basically,
What was the first effect you joined?
the eFed, first eFed was KCW actually.
What brand?
Travis's. I was there.
Mayhem.
Yeah. For a
But you
brief
got
moment.
switched to global. You got switched to global.
Yeah, I ended up switching to global because it's funny. So when Travis had a lot of stuff going on in his real life, I noticed that he wasn't having a lot of shows because, real life comes first. So I was like, well, I heard that the only way I can go to global was I needed to be traded. So I was like, well, let me go talk to Jag real quick, see what I could do. So I went to talk to Jag, and one thing led to another. I was over there, but before all that, I was in Worlds Collide, and that was like my home, my that's where I got a lot of my experience. So that's basically how that happened.
And Worlds Collide is a brand that accepted both brands from both shows, but not just that. They were a brand that accepted companies that weren't even associated with KCW. So it was a big Worlds Collide there. So you had a lot of different talent to work with compared to the brand that you were on Mayhem, and then you got switched to the flagship program, Global, and you made a hell of an impact winning, like you said, you made a name. What titles did you win? Like, do you remember?
I know I was the world champion like two times there in
For
Worlds
Impact
Collide.
or
For
Worlds Collide?
Worlds Collide, I was two times world champion. I held it for a little bit because for like a month on my second run, and then I do believe it was like the hardcore title. It got turned into like the war title or something, the
Yeah.
war core title or something. But
Yes.
Travis beat me for that. I remember that. That was funny. There was a lot of people that came for me for like multiple titles, but I remember having a lot of fun stepping up to the challenge, wanting to be that guy, wanting to show everybody that I could stand with everybody there. And the fact that when I walked into Worlds Collide, it wasn't called Worlds Collide. It was called shoot, I forget.
War of Worlds.
Yes. And then I accidentally called it Worlds Collide, and Mike was like, the GM daddy ass. He was like, hey, I kind of stole your name because I hope you didn't mind. I was like, sure, go ahead. And that's how that happened. And from that point on, I was like, oh, I joked around with it. I was like, hey, I got that 1% in this company right here. This brand, this is my brand too, So from that point on, like I've just always I realized that like who was the top person when I walked into the locker room. And everybody was kind of like, oh, Jack Graves. So I had fights with him. I had like 2 fights with him in Travis's brand, and ended up losing really bad. Those were my learning experience. That was my learning experience because I didn't know how serious I was going to take this, and I don't like losing. It doesn't set well. It does not set well with me. So I try to study a lot of stuff, and I try to study a lot of people. And everybody that I had to go against, I try to study them. I try to study everything that they had, everything they set up, and I try to be like, oh, let me count the frames and see if I can get ahead and stuff like that. And that was me. I was wanting to be the guy for a long time. I didn't care who I had to piss off. I wanted to be the man in KCW. And I feel like I set out to do that for a little bit, and I succeeded. It was fun. I ended up getting bodied, and you could blame Jack Graves for everything that happened this year. that literally that's happened. That because of him. It's funny because I ended up fighting him the third time, and finally that was in Worlds Collide, and I bodied him just like he bodied me. And then I remember the dog coming up right behind him and be like, I want a piece of the new guy. This is around like right after El Dorado and stuff like that. All that stuff happened. And I remember like realizing like, oh, I can talk crap to people. So I remember that whole rivalry with the dog, Rob Anderson. And I remember I got underneath his skin really bad.
Oh.
That was fun. That was a really fun one. Because it ended up, I ended up going into that, his snap, tap, or nap match, his specialty, and bodying him in his own match as the rookie, fresh rookie, and ended up getting shot playfully. And I was not happy about that, but it was funny. It was funny. It was a learning experience. But I feel like I earned a lot of respect from a lot of people that were in the locker room after my matches, and a lot of people wanted to fight me because I remember fighting Insidious, and I've never dealt with anybody that was just, oh, I'm not gonna quit. I'm not gonna quit. I put everything into him, and our first match, and he just wouldn't stay down. And I was like, you are resilient, so resilient, and he's got a lot of heart. I'll give him that, but a heart of a lion, lion heart. Can't beat it.
I'll say. Did the nickname Lionheart come to you naturally that you chose yourself, or did it get given to you?
Something I randomly came about because it sounded pretty good to go with my name and the fact that I never want to give up. I never want to give up. I've always wanted to go fight, keep going, figure them out. You gotta win. And it just the lion heart. And it's funny because people are like, oh, you like Chris Jericho? I'm like, Chris Jericho's okay. I wasn't a big Chris Jericho fan, no.
That was Chris Jericho's name back in the day, Lionheart. So that is actually a big honor for you to be carrying that name around from somebody that is well known in the business as Y2J and also in the band music world.
Fozzy, yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fozzy.
Shout out to Fozzy, indeed. And shout out to Chris Jericho.
Shout out to
you never know, they might tune in.
Hi, guys!
Right? After KCW, was that the only brand was KCW really just your home? Did you go anywhere else?
I went to GCW or
a GPW, formerly what it's called, yeah.
Yeah. I went, I was actually funny. I fell asleep after one of my matches. And I woke up the next day in GPW.
Oh.
And I was confused. And I was like, I'm leaving here. And then I was spoken to by the owner about, hey, this place needs some life. Would like for you to stay and like help out and like get it more alive and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this place is all right. Though there was a weird clown when I first walked in, and I didn't know what to do with it.
Bobo.
Yeah, Bobo. Yeah, Bobo the clown. That was a learning lesson. He was a learning lesson. I've never met a clown that has done the things he has done. So I still have to give him his L. So one day.
One day.
But
He recently is actually retiring.
yeah, I remember. Remember, he's finally retiring. He said, "This is my last year." I was like, "Oh, well,
More days.
oh well,
2 more days.
oh well." Maybe when if he ever comes back. But until then, I was in GPW. It was fun. There was a lot of interesting things behind the scenes that I was kind of into and I spoke about with the owner.
Yeah.
And we kind of like came up with some ideas that were kind of really interesting and really cool. So, and if it wasn't like some of the ideas were like he was already thinking about, and then some of them that were like, "Oh, this is good, and let's try this." So he took off, he took the ball and just ran with it, and I'm happy for him personally. It didn't really work out in the long run between us. I'm not going to get into that, but it is what it is. I'm happy that he's got a successful brand organization, and I had a lot of fun there. A lot of fun. That's all I can say. There was a lot of interesting fights there, but KCW was the one that birthed AIDEN Williams, and I went back. Honestly, I went back there. I briefly went and had a match in this indie program. I think it was like Alpha Pro or something.
Oh.
And I ended up. They were different. They were different.
How? If you might elaborate.
I ended up leaving over drama, but
Oh.
not my drama, but it is what it is.
Wasn't the right place for you.
Yeah. No, not the right place. Cool idea. Not the right place for me. But ended up coming back, talking to Jag, and that's where I stayed, and kind of had felt some type of way. So a lot of stuff was happening in KCW at that time, and I just stayed there. Stayed through it all for a while. Was happy with the matches that we were able to put on, but people had lives in the real life, so there wasn't the everyday show all the time, and you just had to deal with that. So it is what it is. But it's always been home. There's always been somebody trying to be like, "Hey, we haven't forgot about you. We're just doing this," and that kind of made me go, "Okay, well, while you guys are doing this, I have all this free time. Unfortunately, I'm gonna go do this, and maybe if things work out and gets more active, which I think it has in a way, I might come back. But it's so late in the game. I'm like, I might come back. I might stay in catering because that's the last thing I told Jag. I told him, was like, hey, I'm after the few matches I had over there in Global, where I won the title over there, and that was like to me that was the prestige. I'm gonna go into the Global stuff a little bit, but like that was like the prestigious title. Like when I started talking to like talking to the GMs, like, oh, this is the title that was basically created for KCW. It was the first, the one of one. When KCW was like born, this was that title. And I was kind of like, okay, that's cool. I'm happy about all the other titles I had, but that was the one that kind of made me feel some type of way because I knew I arrived, I was that guy. And I knew like I'm always going to be in the history books of KCW. And arguably, because of what I have done, I feel like I have the right to sit here and say Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year is what you're like Rookie of the Year here.
Yeah, I will claim I am Rookie of the Year. I had a lot of fun, a lot of title wins, a lot of defenses, a lot of stories, especially between me and Jack. And then me and oh yeah, crap, what's his name? What's his name? I forget.
Who?
He's big guy. Big
Big
guy.
Lou? Big
Yeah,
Lou?
Big Lou. There it is. Big Lou. He's the one that also helped build me because of his talent. He's such a big dude. He lost his title to me. I forget over in Worlds Collide. He lost his title to me. That was another title I won with him against him. And then he came back. I beat him. I beat Chris's guy. I forget.
Kabuki?
Yeah, not Kabuki, the other one, the big one.
Oh, Khan.
Yes, I beat him. And then I was supposed to go for the title against him, and then DMK cashed in. There's so much stuff that's just like popping in my head. I'm like, oh yeah,
No.
that happened.
Please, like, this is yours, man. Please keep going.
It was fun. I had a lot of fun. Like there was a lot of interesting stuff that happened. Like I was to this day, me and Khan were gonna brawl. We were gonna throw it down. After I saw his match with Jack Graves that one time, it was the ambulance match, and I was just sitting there, just like, man, this is what it's like to be at the top. This is the level. I want to get better. So, and I after beating Big Lou for his title, and then right after having to fight Khan the following week for the #1 contendership, it was I knew something was happening with me. I was like, all right, we're starting to get the motivation. We're starting to go. And then, yeah, DMK is the first person. He won the title off of Khan, and then I beat DMK for the title. And that was my first world title. But going back to the global thing, like, global had some really tough randomness, because I like to sit there and say forget El Guapo. Just
I know. I know who you're talking about.
El Guapo.
I have not heard anything from El Guapo in days. Nobody has that I've seen.
He's still gonna be mentioned because he was the little slithering snake in my plans.
Oh,
Always getting in my matches at random. I'm like, where have you been? He just pops up. Oh, I'm in your match now. What? This was.
so you guys never ever culminated. You guys never ever culminated.
It was always just he pops up, he gets in my match, and it goes to be a triple threat. And then the one time that we had a match 1-on-1 was in the backstage brawl for my title, and I destroyed him.
Never saw him again.
No, I saw him a few times, but he wasn't facing me. And then well, who else? There was Shane.
Oh, Buster?
Yeah, Buster.
What do you have to
There
say about Buster?
Buster. No. Buster. Buster. Fuck you, Buster. There we go. That's what I gotta say. Moving on. So,
okay. Okay.
That's literally what I gotta say about that guy.
Okay.
What
do you have to say about Blind Man?
Blind man's blind. He be doing blind things. I feel his pain, you know? I mean, I get it. I get the blindness. I really do. I'm okay with blind.
Well said. Well said.
And Urkel is a funny one. I like him too.
Yeah, they're good people.
Now, Brandon Walker, the wrestler,
Are you talking
Jason
about Eddie?
Voorhees.
You're talking about
Yeah,
Eddie.
yeah.
I'm Diggle, sir. You're talking about Eddie?
Eddie Walker. Yeah, I Jason Voorhees himself. That was a guy I was at after, like, towards the end of me actually going, being like, okay, I'm gonna take a break for a little bit. That was a guy I was a little worried about. That was a guy I was a little worried about after seeing some of his matches with Damien. Funny, me and Damien never fought.
Really?
We
You and
never
Davey
fought.
never fought.
We never fought. We never had our match. Me and Damien never fought once. And we had our group. Our group was, we had titles at one point. All of us at one point.
Your group is who?
uh, the Elite? No, it's Digital.
Digital Dynasty?
Yeah, Digital Dynasty. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been even around that stuff. But yeah, Digital Dynasty. That was interesting. That was fun. But some people felt it was more me, because I was always getting the opportunities, and I was kind of like the center in a way. And I didn't mean to be. It was just, hey, I'm winning. I'm getting the spotlight. My mouth is going 24/7. I'm doing what I got to do, because I'm not gonna sit here and play backseat. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna get what I want, and what I wanted was the respect. That's what I was after, more than the titles. I wanted the respect.
Okay.
Getting the titles and winning beating the people that I beat would get me that respect from everybody. And
Well said.
that's very honest.
Well said. Well said.
Mr. Woods is in the building.
I was about to ask him, do you have any history with this man?
Whew. Oh, AJ. What a learning curve you were.
Believe it or not, since you joined I don't know, you've been gone for a while, but he's part of not BLS. He's part of Wolfpack now.
Oh, wow. What in the world?
Yeah. Yeah. BLS is actually losing quite a few members. Buster just recently left.
Wolfpack.
No, he went off to go do his own thing. Yeah. Buster's doing his own thing, but Woods joined up before him because Woods turned on Jag full on. It was a whole situation. He basically Jag thought he was going to help him, but no, Woods did the unthinkable turn on Jag.
Wow. What craziness. And we got some new. I left when there was like a whole new roster being made of people that were coming in. Like, it was, I was like, and that's when I told Jag, I was like, let the other kids eat. Let the new kids eat. Let them have the spotlight. Because I remember, like, one of the last things, like, Jag had the world title, and, like, there was a few other people that were just like, he was just always in the spotlight, and I'm just like, no, like, just let them have the spotlight for a while. We can get the title anytime we want. Let them have fun. we the old heads here. Like, I may be a rookie, but I'm like the beginner rookie. Like, I'm the first draft. Like,
you're number one. You're the gold pick.
I'm the old pick. Like,
the old pick.
Yeah, like, let the rookies, like the real rookies, like, let them eat, let them have their fun. I'm abstaining catering. That's what I told him. I'm chill. I'm a be chill. I'll pop in, say hi, tell everybody what's up, see how everybody's doing. I may come back. I know I'll be back for the new game, but
Oh.
yeah, that's a thing. I'm coming back definitely for the new game.
You heard it there, folks. You heard it, everybody that's watching. You heard it himself. He's going to be coming back.
I ended up. I ended up, yeah, because there's, I don't know what else I could do, but aside for, I don't know, show everybody that I can still do it.
Speaking of things you could do, is there somebody maybe, like, if you had to give me, like, a few names that maybe you've never stepped in when you were fighting in IFA that you would like to fight? Oh, look. Once you return, you know where to find me. Round free from Mr. Woods.
Yeah, I need to beat him. I need
Okay.
to teach him that I've learned his ways and gone beyond it. Do need to beat him.
Anybody else? Anybody else in mind?
I do. I owe Jack Graves another butt kicking. Owe him another one because to this day he literally admitted that I was literally the only one that has ever done that to him.
It's hard to put Jack down. He's a freaking brute.
It was, yeah, and he's lost before, but it wasn't like that loss.
Yeah.
That was the loss. That was the one that that one hurt a little bit because you remember Jack went in after that. Shortly after, Jack went and faked his kidnapping with another guy, came back as another dude, and I was like, what's going on? Did I hurt your pride? What happened?
He just said not happening.
That's funny. Look at the man himself.
Oh my.
You created this, sir. This is your fault.
People pop into the chat. If they want to talk, they can talk. Yeah. But if he wants to join on, I would have to do another live after this.
That's funny. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. There was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with Insidious, Mike. And let's see, who else would I want to fight? I want to probably tie it up with Eddie one time because I don't remember ever fighting him. I think maybe once.
Huh. There was one time you guys faced.
And then
you guys faced in the war games, and you were like starting out with somebody else, and then Eddie came in, and then you were like, "Help!"
Yeah.
Help!
Yeah. Oh yeah, we managed to survive war games somehow. But geez, that was a bloodbath.
Wild times. That was the anniversary show too. I think you were in a few matches that night.
Yeah.
Yourself.
Yeah. I think it was in like one other match, and then I had that, and that was hell. That was hell. I was nervous. I was like, oh, these are like, it was like facing like Thanos and his like henchmen versus my crew. You know, we're like the Avengers, and you know, it was hell. It was like All Stars versus like the Chicago Bulls of the 90s.
My God.
That was the match. That was the match. I don't care what anybody says. That War Games was the match.
It was a great one. It was one to remember. The biggest anniversary show of the year.
It was well overdue between those two groups.
Right? It was building up. Like, from what I was seeing, it was building up for weeks and weeks and weeks upon that.
And and the funny part is, like, some of the people that were in the match, like me and like Jack Graves, me and Insidious and stuff, like some of them, those were stemming back from the beginning of the year. That just never stopped. Like me and Jack Graves have been had a rivalry since I walked in the door. Insidious has always been like a thorn in my side.
Well,
So
Jack is no longer part of the Wolf Pack. He is now a part back into a group that he was originally, that he supposedly never left, called Venom Club, which he told me that was a plan the whole time, that he would be with Wolf Pack until the time was right, then go back to Venom Club.
whatever.
You hear that, Jack? He sees you as not
Whatever.
really much of a threat.
He can spit all the venom he wants. I'll still cut off that.
Oh my God. Jesus, people, what is with the Venom? We might as well just have Venom on this show at this point.
We are Venom. Like what?
Yeah, there we go. Eddie Brock and freaking Venom over here. Oh, what's up, Eddie? Food. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Like what? Man, can you just stay in one spot? I was in one group all year. One
He's
group.
just a cocky rookie is what he's calling you.
Yeah, I see what he's saying.
Washed up.
Yeah, so washed up. I still hold that dominant victory over you versus your two lucky wins when I first walked in the door. Yeah, because there's no way you could dominate me nowadays. It would not work.
Oh. Always been Venom.
Man, he can claim all he wants. He could be, oh, I'm part of Jesus and the Holy Ghost crew. I don't care. You still get your ass.
Jeez.
You can't. You can't. It's just face it, Graves. You can't.
You don't know what I am now.
Oh, let me guess. Some Cyclops demon from that has. It doesn't matter. Take the L. 1, 2, 3, and move on. I would win. It's always going to be that way from this point on because you want to know why? Because I'm better than you. You created me. Mr. Brock Lesnar can't
I feel
beat
like
me.
he's a little bit more over than Brock.
What'd you say?
I feel like he's a little bit more better than Brock, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. He's just our version of Brock. I'm like, yeah, I beat him. I could do it again. He's the reason. He's what made me adjust and know what to do.
As you stated earlier, that he was one of those people when in your list you had quite a few big names right there on your list.
Yeah,
The dog, Insidious.
Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of people. You name the top. You name some of the top people, and I've probably been in the ring with them this year.
You faced CJ Frost.
Yes.
Okay.
I beat CJ Frost.
But you've never faced Damien, but you faced Rip.
Yes.
Right? Man, Damien would really like to be the one that I would like to see. No offense to I would like to see you and Jack again, but I would also like to see you and Damien, see where that goes. Maybe Damien could do something Jack can't.
Maybe. My old rusty bones have to dust off the dirt. Been in catering, so dang long, feeding everybody, letting everybody.
You're passing out food to the commoners. Here you go, guys.
What's the meatloaf? It's meat, and it's a loaf.
Are you like Cade when he was on concession stands and then Larry the Cable Guy came up?
More like if The Rock was in the concessions.
Oh, gosh. I will whoop your candy ass. I've always respected Aiden because me and him were fast rising superstars. That is one guy I think I could say that hmm, he's really rose to the top fast in his career, just like you. So
Huh.
then, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's somebody that I definitely respected because he was somebody different. He was my first like different setup, different way of playing, different way of wrestling, everything. I was like, whoa, like what are you doing different? Like I had to figure that one out real quick, and I figured out that the hard way by losing my second reign on the world title in Worlds Collide.
Ooh.
He's the one that dethroned me after I went through I think like 3 or 4 people, and and one being Insidious 2.0, which was just a runner. He was just running around the whole cage the whole time, playing. Oh, let me hit you and run away. I'm like, man, let's fight. I had a lot of fun with that. Who's these people?
Oh, these is my that's my big brother and his friend that he tagged. That's at Mr. Woods. There's Jack Graves in here. Um, Ashley, my friend. Alexa,
Oh,
Trey, my friend. Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Hi, people.
Yeah, yeah. The
Come
people,
support
I
him.
put this out publicly, so if you have people popping up on your end too, it should, because I tagged you, so I put it out publicly so people on your end could see it, so people on my end will see it.
Oh, that's cool. Cool.
Yeah. So
Then
yeah,
people be like, I didn't know you were into that. And be like, yeah, wrestling is awesome.
yeah, yeah. So basically, like I said, anybody on your side will be able to see this as far as I know, because when I was interviewing a few people, they were like, hey, to some people that I didn't even know that I noticed pop up, and they were like, oh, these are my people.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's cool. I had a lot of fun this my first year being in there,
I
doing
thought
doing a lot of people dirty. As
that's
I
the
would
word you're
say.
gonna say. You're like, I did this dirty. I'm gonna walk out the champ, and you proved it. You proved it.
Yeah, I walked out. I had a chip on my shoulder at one point to prove because people were still doubting me. Like, oh, you're nothing. You're just here. You're blah blah blah. I'm like, watch me. That was I
Did you make records with these belts? Like, did you hold them for a good period?
no no
No.
no way.
Okay. Okay.
No, the competition. That's the thing I can say. That's the thing I remember saying to everybody. There's no way of holding a title here for very very long. The competition level here is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I don't know how people were holding titles for so long. Like Jack Graves was like, "Oh, I held this title for so long," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it probably wasn't with the same crew that's here now." He's like, "Yeah, but I'm like, what about that guy, that guy, that guy, and that guy? Because those people, if they were half as good, or if they were as just as good as they were now, there's no way. There's no way. It's just not possible. So I can't see anybody going, oh, I'm gonna hold this title and consistently defending it on a weekly basis.
Now that I can say so, yes, but at also the same time that's the beauty of what happens when the AI goes at work.
Yeah,
Because I've seen guys hold titles. I'm not kidding you. I have seen guys hold titles for weeks and weeks on end defending it, and they have held titles like that same belt for like a long time, and people complain, "Oh, this guy's been champion for like 7 months already. We need to get a new champion." But like, yet they're holding the belt, or she is holding the belt with said person for tag title. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, are you a placeholder? Like, what's going on? Like, that was the thing I was told. Like, that was the thing I learned from Jack. He was like, oh, we don't do the weekly title defense here. We do monthly. And I was like, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me over there I've been doing double duty this whole time? Like, wait a minute. So that's why, like, partially why I wasn't holding the title for long, and that's why I kind of assumed, like, since then, oh, that's why, because there's no way if you're defending the. I don't think there's a way of defending the title for longer than like 2 to 3 months if you're doing it consistently every week, every show.
You
I
never
just
know.
don't.
Like I said, it's really the luck of the AI. And a lot of the names you said have held titles for good periods of time and have
But
beaten a lot of different people at different time periods.
but who has the longest title consistency reign of this year? That's the biggest question.
If we
What's
had
the
to
longest?
consistently say that, I would have to look back on a few, but there could be a few actually in that hat. Because you have to
It's
realize that outside of you, when you also have not been around for some period. That is correct. But
yeah. There were
also the
also
fact of, like, there's
that I
also been
remember.
other companies that you've never stepped into yourself that have had people come over, but you've never faced people from there. Like Mythic, I don't ever recall you two facing. I've never seen you face frickin' what's his name, Proxy
Yeah,
God. I've never seen you face a few guys. I feel like you should definitely test your will against if you really say you are the best before, because this is now. You may have had that era then when you came in, but like you said,
there's
the
a whole
landscape has changed.
generation. Yeah, it always changes. There's a new
Exactly,
landscape. But I didn't
exactly.
know. I didn't know. I don't know all the
Yeah,
new brands.
like
I
that's
don't.
the thing. DPW has been around for a long time. A company with CJ Frost, the man that you beat, that you said, he really works full time with DPW a lot of the time, which is basically his home base practically.
That's crazy. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where Mythic is from. I've never seen you face Mythic, and now that is a match right there. That's a dream match for me. If that can happen, I will freaking be in the books. I will freaking get popcorn, soda, you name it. That's a dream match for me.
I think I met him
You have
once.
you have met him. He was the one that was going with that people were saying you guys should face off, but then Mythic said he was not going to face you because he was retiring at the time.
Yeah. And yeah. Yeah. That
Yeah,
was the
so
guy.
but I'm just saying I would still like to see that. I would like to see who would win.
They were like, "Oh, you and him are kind of the same," and I'm like, "What?" And then I
I
met
know
him, and I'm like,
in a
"No,
big
this
way
guy's
you guys
worse."
are.
I'm like, "No, this guy's worse."
Wow. You're like, "Oh yeah, this guy's worse than me," but then you know.
I'm like, "This guy's worse." That's like my arch nemesis over there. Like, oh, that's Zod. There's like Goku Black over
That's Zod. You're Superman.
there. Freaking Goku Black over there. Like, nah, man. I did not have any clue what I was getting into when I started talking to that guy, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I can see why you were not so welcomed in this place at first."
Well, he was.
That makes
But
sense.
believe it or not, he ran that basically how you say you came in. He ran that with basically kind of doing what you're doing if you don't believe when you say that you can't be defending your title consistently. That man was literally making people leave. But
That's
also,
funny.
he added in a factor of him bringing in what some people saw other things be brought into the situation. So that did not really go well.
Uh,
Yeah. But
yeah, I lie, I cheat, I steal. No.
Eddie Guerrero, man, one of the greatest wrestlers
Yeah,
of all time.
yeah, yeah. I mean, who knows what could have been with me and him, but like always, no one. I'm not. If I don't want you to just beat me flat out, I won't give up.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna come back. I'm always gonna win somehow, some way. I gotta figure you out. It's just cheat
Well said.
code. It's just the cheat code. That's just the moral of who I am. Unless I'm like, oh, if you got one up on me, it's because I probably had something I wanted to do beyond you.
There was something better and bigger, and you definitely made a name for yourself within a short period. And I have to say, very much congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. I really do. It was nerve wracking. Some people don't still are like, it was he's okay. Some people are like, he's really good, and some people just don't like me, and you're gonna have that. But you are gonna respect the fact that I have won almost every top title. Actually, no, all the top titles that were like head titles in each of the big brands: KCW, Worlds Collide, and Mayhem. KCW Mayhem. No. I was going to go for KCW Mayhem. I never did because he ended up going away. But GPW, yep, that's me. I was holding that title for a while.
Making records, making memories.
I like I said before, like the most honor title that I had was in global, holding that world title. Because I remember talking to Jag, and he's like, I asked him, like, what title is the one that would basically represent the history of like KCW as like your first title you ever created? And he was like, the one that you're holding, actually. And I was like, really? So I've done it. He's like, done what? And I told him, told him what I said. I was like, I made history. I wanted to be one of the ones that, like the NWA title, you know how that prestige is, holding that, like back in the day. Like if you had that, like that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Before there was a WWE. And that's kind of where I looked at the KCW world title. I was like, I wanted that. That's what I want. I wanted to be the name right here on that. So I set out to do one of my major goals. But I think that was actually my top goal this year was, hey, I want that title.
Yeah.
So I mission complete. I think that was one of my big things of like another reason why I kind of thought about like just kind of taking a back seat, because I did everything that I set out to do. It was like, okay, now what's next?
That is a good question. What is next?
Catering. To be
Okay,
honest.
I need to come by for a hot dog and some hamburgers. Okay, man, since you're offering.
No, we fix you. We got mom's spaghetti over here.
You got spaghetti with meatballs?
With meatballs.
Yeah, cool. I'll
And
hit
I
you
got
up after
grandma's
the show. Pizza, man. Heck yeah, always pizza with Parmesan. That's good too. Oh.
Yeah, I'll be making some good stuff for you guys over in catering. Come see me after the show.
So everybody, come to him after the show. Everybody in the backstage area, go to him after the show. We're gonna go hit up them concessions. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I've been hooked on a few other games since I stayed in the locker room, been playing different games. So
Would you like to express those kinds of video games on here?
well, I went back to Paladins for old time's sake, which is basically the Overwatch. Went to that. I started playing a few mobile games for a little bit, and then started playing this game called Throne and Liberty, which is an MMO, and it was fun. It was fun for just like a little bit. You can like earn your currency and stuff in there, like the real currency. You can just earn it through like getting rare drops and like just selling them, and they sell for the real currency, so it was kind of cool. So you can just get all the stuff in the shop for free just by earning that stuff.
Awesome.
So ended up playing that until Marvel Rivals came out, and that's what I've been kind of doing. Marvel Rivals a lot.
Well, congrats. Rock out on that Marvel Rivals and the other games you've been playing, and we hope to see you come back.
Oh, I'm not leaving forever. It was just time out.
Oh, no. We were just saying we hope to see you come back.
Yeah, it will happen. It will definitely happen. Like I said in the beginning, when I first arrived here, I had no clue what I was doing at all. But my role play actually was, I had role play experience coming into it. I was like, hey, I can use this old stuff that I used to use in IMVU when I used to play that when I was like a teen.
Yeah.
So I had a whole bunch of fun doing that, and then basically just I never knew that there was anything like this, like EFED. I was like, oh, this is cool. Now, if they did this in WWE 2K25 or like the new one, like one of the future games, but obviously not the recent one that's going to come out, but um, where they can make it where there's like, oh, you create a league online, and then you can invite people to your roster, and they can have like choose a roster character, a real character, or they can create a character and put that in that roster. And then they have like, if you're the GM of that brand, it would be kind of cool if they like, oh, you're the GM, you get to create the show, you get to create like stories, like it would be online universe mode, but with your friends. It would be amazing, like absolutely insanity. Think about it.
They could do a lot. Like they've already talked about they have heard about SmackDown versus Raw being a cover for 2K25 coming back.
That'd be weird.
I
I'm like, oh, we're
I've
doing
just
that
heard the
again.
rumors. I don't know if they're true, but like how everything goes around.
Yeah, yeah. But it's just a thought I've always had. I thought that would be kind of
Yeah.
cool. Just like if they would, I don't know if you ever played the Raw series for like the
I did.
Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you can like do like actions in the backstage,
Yeah.
and like they'd have cutscenes and certain things. They need to bring that style back because literally that game was so open, like sandbox, that it was insane. There was hardly anything you couldn't do, and with
Yeah.
the new gameplay that they have now, it would be probably the perfect game.
Oh yeah. Respect.
It would be insane if they incorporated these two things and said, here's your game. I'd be like, yep, I'm never leaving this game ever again. There's no reason.
Well said, man. Well said.
Does this
Um,
guest stream? I do not stream, sir. I do not.
Bullet, I promise to get you on next time, and hell, maybe we can even get you on maybe before the year is out, my friend. I still have some room left up, and I have a few people lined up. But Mr. Mr. Williams, I have one more question for you to end off. What would your legacy be? What do you want your legacy to be?
Well, definitely not a bark in the background.
The bell tolls.
um, my legacy. I don't know. That's a good question. I, I would like my legacy to be remembered as maybe one of the best that's ever done it, and always wanted respect. I think I've wanted to be well respected for my accomplishments, so that people are like, oh, I don't want to hear what Jack Graves says all the time from other people. I like hearing, wow, like I respect you. You're awesome. You did all this stuff too. You're one of the greats, just like me. Like I want to hear that. That that would be that'd be amazing. And I want to leave something for like I want to eventually like help the new people. Like I
You
would
want to
want
do
to do that.
something like you want to help the new generation.
Yeah, eventually like and like when I'm not so much of a rookie, maybe like towards the next game, and be like, hey, let me teach you this, this, and this, because that's kind of what I did with Damien. I taught Damien a few things, so and he took the ball and kind of molded it into his thing. And I don't know how well he's doing now, but he started doing pretty good.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, I I'm happy with what I've done. Grateful for the opportunities that I got. Glad I didn't blow them. And happy for the people that I've met in there. Y'all are actually some pretty cool people. Because you guys, on a personal note, never you don't know this about me, but I grew up with my father introduced me to wrestling, and my grandmother always watching it with her and stuff like that. And those two people are gone, so I've always kind of been my wrestling knowledge has always been kept to myself since those days. Everything I can't talk about like the '90s wrestling with anybody because, well, my fiance doesn't really know anything about the '90s wrestling or anything. So, but coming to see you guys and coming in there, I'm like, oh wow, like you guys are like, you know so much. You guys know like when I say this or that, you guys are like, hey, yeah, this, and this. And I'm like, this is what I've been missing, like being able to talk wrestling with people. That's something I actually do miss a lot, and I'm happy that I found you guys to do that.
Well, we're honored to have you a part of this community, and we look forward to seeing what you have in store for this next coming year.
A lot of ass kicking.
I believe it. I believe it. And
And raising hell.
that's
I
what you
might
got
make
to do,
somebody cry.
Stone Cold style.
Yeah, I'm gonna make somebody cry. I promise. No, not
Damn.
really. That'd be bad.
You don't put smiles on the face of babies. You make kids cry.
Oh
It's like
man.
that movie Wild Hogs. Doug makes kids cry.
I haven't seen that movie in so long. That movie's funny.
It's a great movie. I think it's on Hulu or YouTube for free actually right now. Might
Oh
be.
wow.
Yeah. But,
Oh
yeah,
man.
those were my questions for you. I hope we can get you on in the eventual future again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun here. It was a pleasure actually being on. Hopefully I wasn't too boring for the other guests that were here. So
I think you did perfect. And if you would like to look back at this, it will be for you, like anybody to rewatch it and like look at it. You can share it out if you want. You can do whatever with that. Like it's your live stream, bro. This is your live stream. And I have not gotten any bad responses really like at all being like, oh, this guy sucks or this guy's boring. No, no, no. Yeah. How I see it, you came on here, you're doing something that I don't know if you've ever really done this before, but
nope.
freaking I'm honored that you actually came on here to do this. Like I've been having quite a few people that don't usually do this come on to here doing this as of late, and I'm just happy to see them come out of a. I just want them to be comfortable with what they do. So I'm glad to see that they can come out of a zone that they're not usually into and then come out to do this.
First interview ever in history. So I mean, hopefully I didn't do too bad of a job. This was kind of more. I thought I was going to be more like I don't know, like frozen, but nah, I'm cool. I'm chill. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Let's go.
Yeah, I've been hearing everything that you've been saying, and you have not frozen up once. If you were, I would have told you, but you had everything seems fine on the live stream, and like I said, you can go back to watch it to see if everything was perfectly fine on your end.
Yeah. Everything seems cool. I am
Yeah.
just I'm chill right now, and I'm happy to actually be on here and be able to like share my experience. Hopefully, this helps with some people that are kind of like, maybe I want to go to KCW. Come on over, have some fun. It's a good time. Just don't have thin layers of skin because we'll eat you alive.
Yes, this business will chew you up and spit you out anyway, no matter if it's the gaming community, wrestling, any kind of wrestling community. It's wild. Huh.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's so crazy. I had a lot of fun with it. I have a lot of fun with you guys. So to this day, even though I'm not like wrestling, I'm there sometimes, just like, hey.
No, and we're still happy to have you around, and We can't wait to see you come back into that ring and duke it out.
All in due time, my friend. All in due time.
Indeed, sir. And this is where I'm going to say, I hope you have a great night. It was nice to have you.
Pleasure being here. Have a happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year's. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the man himself. That was such an honor to have Mr. Williams on. We hope to have him on again soon. Mr. Bullet, we will get together and talk about a day that you are free, sir, so we can interview you. And ladies and gentlemen, that was another episode of Fright Night. Have yourselves a great night. And peace out. Holla. Happy New Year's. Happy Hanukkah. Hasta la Vallejo. Let's go.